Hello, my name is Nicole Weich, and I'm a health and wellness coordinator with Fulton County's Government Department of Senior Services, and this is your Wellness Moment. And on our past episodes, we've talked about mental health as well as physical health concerns. Today, we're going to take a look at a form of self care, and that is journaling. Today, I am honored to be joined by a guest, one that I admire so much, the owner and creator of Journal, Jot, and Jive, Adrian Ross, better known as A. Renee. Welcome, Adrian.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Adrian, could you please tell my guests a little bit about yourself as well as Journal, Jot, and Jive?
Sure. I am A. Renee. I am a 38-year-old single mom. I love journaling, pens, paper, anything you think of that. I'm a very creative soul. So Journal, Jot, and Jive is it's my baby. It's my company. It is a business that I created out of just writing and posting pictures on social media, actually. And I had a couple of people reach out and ask, like, how do you journal? What is journaling? And I was like, what do you mean? What is journaling? So over the time, I would begin to teach classes, and I would just show people various ways that they can journal and express themselves.
Okay, great. Well, on Wellness Moment, we like to talk about all things wellness. Can you give us your definition of wellness?
So for me, wellness, it's actually changed over the years. In the beginning, I just thought it was everything like physical fitness. I now look at wellness as a well-rounded situation, right? I look at it in reference to spiritual health, physical health, as well as my mental health. So I look at wellness as a total package, and I need all three components for it to work for me.
Mm, very interesting. That's a very thorough and thoughtful definition. I like the way you say you need all components to come together to know that you have achieved wellness. Okay, very good. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about your baby, Journal, Jot, and Jive. Can you please tell us, at least me, I know a little bit about journaling, but some of my
Mhm.
viewers may not know anything about journaling. Exactly what is journaling?
Okay, so I guess I can put it more in a simplified form. You're taking your thoughts and ideas and you're putting it on paper. I know often when people hear journaling, they think I open up a book and I write when everything is wrong. And that's actually not the whole realm of journaling. So, journaling is simply opening up a book and allowing the words to expel on paper. So I do a method where I teach people to write the great, the good, and the not so good. So when they look back at their journal, it's more of, it reads like a book and it doesn't sound like a broken record. So it's a way for you to get the things out of your head so they're just not a merry-go-round, and you have a way to express yourself when you don't feel like you want to talk to anybody else. Your journal is like a friend. That's kind of how I look at it.
Wow. Okay. So, believe it or not, to me, that sounds almost like something that a very mature person would get into, even though I know, as young girls, we may have kept diaries. When
Mm-hmm.
and why did you start journaling?
So it's funny, like every time I tell this story, I laugh. So I was around the age, it's about 7, and I just used to I used to be moody. Don't know why. Nobody did anything to me. And so one day my mom came in the room. She had a cute little book. She had some cute pens, some stickers, and she was like, yeah, so you can go ahead and write how you feel. So that, I think that was her way of making sure that I didn't keep things bottled up. But she also showed me in a cutesy way, so it didn't seem so intimidating. It was like, oh, this is fun. This is colorful. I like it. So that's how I actually got into journaling. And as the years went on, it just stuck with me. So I would journal. I would journal in class when I wasn't supposed to, but it just was my way of, okay, I don't like how I'm feeling right now. Let me write it down. Or I'm excited. Let me write this down. So that's actually how I got into using a journal.
Okay. So, journaling helped you when you were a young girl, getting your
Mhm.
feelings out, probably not taking the attitude and frustration out on your family. How
Right.
has journaling helped you as an adult?
So it's funny. It's actually helped me in reference to, like, I write my dreams, ideas, goals, everything in my journal. So for example, Journal, Jot, and Jive, when I started it, I didn't even know what it was supposed to be. So I'm the type, I keep a notebook by my bed. So journals, they're notebooks, any kind of paper I have, I journal on. And so I literally woke up in the middle of the night and the word journal, jot, and jot was there. So I
Mm.
wrote it in my journal. I did not know what it meant. I literally the next day woke up and said, okay, well, let me go secure the name on the web. And so I would just around the time just write different things and different ideas. And so in my adulthood, I've been able to see like how I progressed, how I've declined. It's a way that it's like a measuring tool for me. So I
Okay.
use it to pretty much see like what else can I do differently. If I'm not feeling my best, I like to write it down before I talk to people because I used to be the type I was very confrontational.
Mm.
I said how I felt without thinking. And now, before I do that, I'm like, write it in your journal, go back and read it. Is this something you would say to somebody out loud? So I use it as a coping mechanism, a goal tool. It's like a lifeline, really.
Wow. So it really truly is a form of self-care.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you say that you're writing down your thoughts, your dreams,
Mhm.
your feelings. What
Mhm.
about right now in this current pandemic that we're living in? Has that influenced your journaling at all?
It actually has, right? So I actually teach women how to write and journal prompts and give them things to prompt them to write. But when I'm creating a journal prompt, I'm also using it for myself. So one thing that I noticed was we often will either write in pain or we'll shy away in pain or discomfort. And in this area, I'm like, this is something many of us have not seen or probably won't see again. And it's
Right.
almost like this is history being written. So I use my journal right now to write how I feel, the great, the good, and the not so good, right? So yes, there's a lot of discomfort, but there are also some things that are for me coming out that are good. So I want to make sure that I'm writing those things down. So when I look back, not only do I have a memory of what happened, but I also can share that with my family down the road. So I use it to write what's going on, what I don't like, what I do like, my thoughts, my ideas on it. I even have gone as far as defining what it is, right? Because, when a couple of years pass, a lot of times we put things out of our mind and we forget really quickly. So I use it as a reminder tool as well.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you this a little later on down the road, but let me ask you now because you say that you write things down and you use it as a measuring tool, and you also look back. Would you
Mm-hmm.
say for those of us who say, one day I'm going to write that book, or we tell our friends, just wait for the book to come out, is
Mm-hmm.
journaling a good way to start that book that we've always said we're going to write about ourselves?
You actually can, right? Because a journal really is writing a book, right? So it depends on how descriptive you are. So you really can, right? So if you start, most people say they want to write a book. So what I would even tell a person then, write your goal. Why do you want to write a book? Who is your target audience? What do you think your book will talk about, right? So if you go back to that page, you'll remember to write about those things. A lot of times we just talk on the top of our head. Everything you're thinking on the top of your head, you can put that in your journal, and that's something that you can reflect on. So you definitely can use your journal as a guideline for your book. But again, you really want to make sure that you're writing how you feel. So more so like, how am I doing? That's so surface. So if you say I'm fine, what makes it fine? What made your day fine? Who was involved in that moment for that day to be fine? So that is a really good way to start working on a book.
Excellent. Very good tip. Very good tip. Well, you mentioned that you teach people how to journal. Many
Mm-hmm.
of my viewers, because I am in the Department of Senior Services, many
Mm-hmm.
of my viewers are older adults um, and men. So, do you see older adults journaling? And what about men?
Absolutely. So it doesn't matter what your gender is. Everybody can write. And it's funny you asked that. I can't remember which birthday party it was, but I actually hosted a journal event at my godmom's birthday. And my
Okay.
godmom now is she 72? Somewhere around in that age. So I think this might have been her 70th birthday. And they actually really enjoyed it. So one of the things that I do when I teach journal sessions, it's not like always a Dear Diary moment, right? I
Okay.
show how you can add creativity. So let's say someone is into scrapbooking or they like magazine cutout clippings or pictures of their family. I taught them how to utilize those things inside of their journal. So it almost looks like a scrapbook, but they're also writing how they feel at the same time. So that was really intriguing for them. And they were like, I never really thought to journal like this. Because again, most people are taught to only write what's wrong. So yes, definitely, it's not an age thing. You can write from the beginning to the end. And so for some people, it's actually a story left behind for their family members, depending on what kind of journal they're using it for.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Wonderful. So hopefully our viewers are encouraged to journal if that's something they've been wanting to do but didn't quite know how to get started. Speaking of getting started, can you give some tips on how to start journaling?
Yeah, so tip number one, get your journal. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or extravagant. You can start in a spiral notebook. You can start in something that you already have at the house. I always tell people to start where you are. That would be tip number one, to get it. Tip number two, open it. So some people have it in their house. Like if you're like me and you go into Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and Ross, you know, when you're in the checkout line, they have this whole display of journals, and a lot of us pick it up because it's cute on the outside. So many
Absolutely.
people have it. Look around your house to see what you have and open it. The next thing I would say, write your name. Once you write your name, it's yours. Something as small as that, just write your name in it. And another thing that I do each month in the journal, I do a hello. So we're in May, right? So I will create a hello May page. And if you don't know what to write, just starting out, find a positive affirmation or I love myself, something really simple, just to write something on the page. Once you get in the habit of writing something down, it eases up the tension of, I don't know what to write just yet. So everything doesn't have to be totally about you. You could doodle in there if you like to draw little pictures. I mean, what I like about journaling is sometimes to me, it just kind of gives you that childhood feeling like I can have fun, I can enjoy this, it's relaxing. So start where you are. Again, number one, find your journal. Number two, open it up. Number three, put your name in it. When you put your name in it, you're sealing the deal. And then after that, you can kind of write maybe a positive affirmation. If you want to write a scripture, something small that doesn't seem overwhelming. That's how I typically get people started into journaling.
Okay, great. And I know you've mentioned being in the checkout lanes, and I really think that's how those stores get us. They have all the cute items in the checkout lane while you're waiting. So you can pick up a journal, you know, while you're waiting to to pay for your items. But are there different types of journals?
They are that. Oh, that excites me. There's so many, and not to overwhelm people. I'm not saying to go get all these different type of journals, but there are, right. So you have your basic journal, which is a line journal. You have paper where it's completely blank. If you like to do watercolor, there's journals. There's mixed media journals. So this is where you can paint your pictures and then you can write on top of it. I also do something that's called a junk journal, and it's where I take different mediums. So let's say it's a piece of newspaper, it may be some paint, I might have a picture of myself and my son, and I put it all down together. And I don't even write a word, right? My
Okay.
story is told through the items that I use. So that's a type of journal. I'll be starting a plant journal. So let's just say you like plants or you have a garden, you can actually journal about that experience, and that's a way to journal. You have coloring books. I also teach people how to use their coloring books and create journal moments. So I might color and I might write how I felt for the day. So it's a variety of journals. So there's no one set journal that a person has to use. They just find what works for them and what will actually keep you going back to write in it. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people will start the process, but they don't continue it. And then it's like, oh, I wish I would have wrote all of these things down. And it's just getting into a routine and a habit. So it's finding what kind of journal works for you. Maybe it's the outside of the journal that's pretty. You can have a cloth journal, a leather journal. So yeah, it's a variety of journals out there.
Wow. And just for my own knowledge, are there any journals that already have a prompt in it that would kind of guide your writing for the day?
Yes, those are called prompted journals. I have a lot of them. So
Okay.
that would probably work well for somebody that's starting out and it's like, I just don't know what to write. Those are called prompted journals, and they sell them everywhere. Like you can find them in the bookstores, again, those stores that we mentioned. And it does help people that are like, I just need that little bit of push to get started. So yes, those do exist, a lot of them. Oh, I forgot another one was Bible journaling. So
Okay.
it's like on one side is clear, the other part are the scriptures, and people actually do stuff in there. I haven't got into that because I feel like I can hear my grandma in heaven, like, why are you writing in the Bible? But it's really pretty, right? So they have it's so much out there. I'm like, I don't know if I should write in this. But yeah, they do have prompted journals for sure.
Okay, good, 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 good. That's exactly where I think I will need to start. Now, I want to ask you, I follow you on social media, and I often
Mm-hmm.
see you tell others to write your heart out. What do you mean by
Mm-hmm.
that?
So, and it's funny. One day I just was like, oh, people should just write their heart out. It's basically saying how you feel, what are the emotions you feel inside, and getting it out on paper. I don't know if you can relate or identify with this, just depending on where you are. Even if you're excited or if you're sad or overwhelmed, it can just be a lot. Like it's so much bottled in, and it's pretty much all of that you're feeling. Get it out on paper, and that just allows you to kind of relax and calm down. So that's where that saying came from.
Okay, okay, very good. Because I know Mother's Day brought up a lot of feelings and emotions for
Mm-hmm.
me. And,
Mm-hmm.
even though on Facebook, I did post a little bit, but I definitely
Mm-hmm.
could have gone into more depth. So I think I'm going to pick up that prompted journal and start to write my heart out. And hopefully some of my viewers would do the same. Um,
Absolutely.
Adrian, if people want to learn more about journaling and journal jot and jive, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, so I have two ways that will probably be the best. You can actually see my website, which is www.journaljotandjive.com. And then I also have a YouTube channel. So I do have Instagram and some of those other things, but my YouTube channel actually shows ways to journal, how journal pages unfold. I do videos to show people how to use journals, planners, and things like that. And so that is YouTube and under the name Journal Jot and Jive.
Okay,
So those are the
great.
two main places.
Okay, and hopefully our viewers caught that. I will also make sure that link is under our YouTube video on our Fulton County's website. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers today?
I would just simply say, right, have fun with it, enjoy it. The times that we're in right now, it's a little different. So this may be the perfect opportunity to just open up a book and write how you feel. I also like to write letters to myself in my journal. So I would say just have fun with it. If you don't have a journal right now, start with a piece of paper. I always make a joke that you can journal on a napkin. You just want to get your feelings out. So if this is something that interests you, start today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait until you feel like it's safe to go in the stores. If there's anybody around you, you can ask them, do you have a notebook that I can use? They probably have it. So just pull out your pen, your paper, and your pencil and just write your heart out.
Just write your heart out. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Adrian Ross. I really do appreciate you. And I also want to thank my viewers for tuning in today. And as usual, my goal on Wellness Moment is to inform and inspire. And hopefully we achieve that mission today. Until next time, be well.